Hey everybody, Bart Madsen here, MotoUSA.com, and I've just returned from South Africa for the international press launch of the 2013 BMW R1200GS. It's not an exaggeration to say that the GS is the most important model in the BMW lineup, making this redesign, which is a comprehensive redesign, a critical one for BMW. Now the headlining change was the move to liquid cooling for the Boxer Twin, and the difference is 15 horsepower or 125 peak horsepower, and when you fire up that Boxer and you twist the throttle, it's immediately a sportier and a more visceral ride. Now even though it's liquid cooled, essentially it is still an air cooled engine. 65% of the cooling comes from the air cooling. It's a complete ground up redesign. The powertrain is completely different. It's much more consolidated. The throttle bodies and the intake tracks are different. It still looks like the Boxer, still feels like the Boxer, but it's a much more compact and efficient design. This Boxer has ride-by-wire, and it includes 5 driving modes. There's dynamic, road, rain. Those are the 3 street modes, and then there's also Enduro and Enduro Pro. Now these new driving modes, they have a much different throttle feel for each one, and they also work with the new semi-active suspension. The way that works is it meters the damping based off of the different drive modes. You can also fine-tune it with the ESA, which returns. That has different settings, soft, normal, and hard. And it also has 2 settings for Enduro. Really what it does is it makes the GS a more versatile bike. You can turn it into a soft, comfortable touring bike, or you can really alter it to become a canyon carving sport bike or a dirt bike. Now the 2 off-road modes are Enduro and Enduro Pro. Enduro is the easy one to get to. It's calibrated for street tires on just casual dirt roads. Works very well, especially when you switch between the soft ESA and the hard ESA. The ABS is actually also really good on the Enduro mode, and I was a little bit reluctant, but man, it's actually way preferable to be stopping with that ABS on the dirt. It's really calibrated well for that. Now Enduro Pro is the more dirt-oriented section, and it's calibrated to work with knobby tires, and we got to sample it on a specially equipped GS. Enduro Pro, you have to plug in a chip. We went in a more technical off-road section. It had larger rocks, some off-cambered inclines, ravines, things like that, and it's really surprising what you can get away with on a bike that big. Now the clutch play is super light. It's a new clutch. It's a multi-plate wet version. And it also has a slipper functionality, smooths out downshifts. I mean, the transmission package is a lot better. And the brakes are also better. BMW upgraded with radial mount Brembo calipers. Any type of braking you want, it delivers it really well. Even though it's gained about 10 to 12 pounds with the liquid cooling and all the changes, it doesn't feel big or bulky or anything like that. One of the things that contributes to the feeling of roominess is that they've repositioned the throttle bodies on the cylinder heads from the back to the top, and it gives the impression at least of more space, I think. Now these are adventure touring bikes, and adventure definitely sells them, but touring is what you're going to be doing the most mileage on, so it's not lost on BMW. They made it more comfortable. They've added, for example, the adjustable windscreen is now easy to adjust with your left hand while you're riding, a little knob. They've moved the accessory plug up to the front, which is a lot more convenient. The seat works for long distance tours. Just overall, I think they've improved it as a long distance touring bike. About the only thing that I maybe am a little bit worried about is the MSRP. We don't know how much it will cost in the US, but expect it to be a little bit more than the 16 grand for the base model last year. That said, BMW has done a fine job of taking its adventure touring standard bearer and making it that much better. It's faster, it's more powerful, it's nimbler, it's smarter with these electronics on it, and it hasn't lost its essential GS character.